Well, good morning, everybody. Well, it's almost lunchtime now, but yesterday I saw like 32 hikers coming through here and shared the good news and the love of God with them, the kindness of God and the gentleness of God. That doesn't always mean that I get to share a scriptural gospel message. That means sometimes it's just showing love to somebody. I had an awesome hiker come through at 8 o'clock last night, and her name is Sparkles, and she was trying to do 40 miles yesterday, and she was dragging when I met her because her DEET, her bug spray, had exploded in her bag and it contaminated her food, and so like she couldn't even eat, and it's just like, oh, why am I keeping going? And then this guy shows up out of nowhere with pudding cups and Gamesas Maravillas, and she was Latina. And it just, the smile that came to her face, because when I put those gamesas in the bag, I thought, I'm going to meet somebody that's going to love these things. I like them. I love those cookies, but I'm going to meet somebody that just loves them, and sure enough, I met her last night, and she ate the whole sleeve of them. It was a long sleeve, and she ate the whole thing. And a couple pudding cups and some other stuff. And don't judge her, she needed the calories, because trust me, she didn't eat much at all yesterday. So anyway, today I just wanted to share this with you. You have not because you ask not. And I've been sharing that with people up here about the car, because they're like, well, how can you afford to do this? And I said, oh, I can't. I don't have the money to do this. In fact, God provided the car, and He put all the food in it, and He's continuing to provide. But you have not because you ask not. James chapter 4, you lust and do not have. This is verse 2. You murder and covet and cannot obtain. You fight in war, yet you do not have because you do not ask. You ask and do not receive because you ask amiss, that you may spend it on your pleasures. Adulterers and adulteresses. Wow. Strong words. Because in the Jewish culture, you could be killed for being an adulterer. You could be stoned for it. Do you not know that friendship with the world is enmity with God, division with God, enmity? In fact, you're fighting against Him. And if you're not for Him, you're against Him. Do you not know it's enmity with God? Whoever therefore wants to be a friend of the world makes himself the enemy of God. Or do you think that the scripture says in vain, the Spirit who dwells in us yearns jealously, but He gives more grace? Therefore He says, God resists the proud, but He gives grace to the humble. And I just want you to think about that today. What are you asking God for? Or are you even asking for Him anything? You just say, thank you for this food and help us not die today or something? Or are you honestly seeking after the wisdom of God? Are you honestly trying to fear the Lord? That's the beginning of knowledge. It's the beginning of wisdom. It's really the beginning of everything. It's the beginning of salvation. You saying that He is Lord. Thus the thief on the cross saying, Lord, remember me. Lord, forgive me. Lord. Saying that He is Lord. Therefore saying, there is a God. I am not Him. Because listen, in order for us to receive, you have not because you ask not. Humility has to come into perspective. What do I need? You don't see any skinny birds flying around, do you? He provides for His creation. He'll provide for you. That doesn't mean we get to drive, maybe we don't drive the brand new car. Maybe we don't have the nice, fancy, huge house that everybody wants to attain to. Maybe this is the front porch for a while. We're transient living here in a Honda Element up in Maine. Maybe that's it. But I promise you, the joy of the Lord will overflow your heart if you're right where He wants you to be. And all that takes is a little bit of humility to say, not my way, but yours. Whatever you want to do, that's what I want to do. So my question for you this morning or afternoon, whatever it is when you're watching this, is this. Plain, Jane, and simple. Is His grace enough for you? If you're a follower of Christ, is His grace enough for you? Because Scripture says it's sufficient. His grace is enough. Is it sufficient for you? When you ask Him for things, are you just asking for stuff? Or are you asking for his wisdom? Are you asking for his strength? Are you asking him to help you trust him? Are you asking him to have faith for you so you can trust him? Because here's the thing. I know a ton of you, he's called you to do something crazy and wild. And you probably said no because it's out of your wheelhouse or you don't have it. And I'm here to tell you, just because you don't have it, it doesn't mean he can't do it. The only reason it won't happen is because you don't trust him to do it. You haven't humbled yourself and said, he is God and there is no other. It's his way or no way. There's no plan B. I'm going with God. And wherever he leads, I'm going to follow. And that's a tough place to be, because sometimes you got to be away from your family for a little while. Sometimes you got to go off in the wilderness to help the wanderer find their way to him. So, all that to say, are you willing to take a step of faith and humility to say, not my will, but thine be done? And is grace enough for you? Because he gives grace to the humble. And he says right before it, you have not because you ask not. And when you ask, you're asking amiss because you're just trying to fill your own pleasures. Comfort, okay? Comfort is not in the will of God. Jesus didn't have a place to lay down his head. I got a place to lay down my head. It's in a car that's mobile and it doesn't, it's not home where it's supposed to be. I'm not in my bed at home right now because he has me doing something. What would he ask you to do if you just open your heart to say, yes, not my will, but thine be done? Hope you guys have a great day. And listen, hey, this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. It's a beautiful day here. A little bit of rain last night, probably a little rain coming here in a minute. That's why I came to do the video. But I hope you guys have a great day. Be blessed. May God be with you.